everyone. This is Ephraim from Multicultural Professional Bridge. How are you doing? Yeah, on behalf of the board of MPB, I'm doing this video clip to reach out to our stakeholders primarily, but everyone is welcome to listen to the message and the story. We are aware that there have been quite some difficult times. We're still in the times as we speak with pandemic situation. Um, Everyone is impacted for that matter. Just talking about Australia, we know that the job unemployment rate has really spiked, and and everyone in the country that is of working age, one way or the other, have been affected. But we're also aware that people of multicultural and migrant background do get direct hit with such situation, just for the reason of the unique situation these cohorts find themselves. We are aware that companies would look at ways to cut costs, and some of them may be valid. We do know that because with the pandemic, obviously, it's a global situation. It's a global economic meltdown because partly due to the lockdowns, the isolations, services are down. So it's really not a time to be looking for who to blame. It's just a global situation. But for us in Multicultural Professional Bridge, we are aware that some people in the community will be very much living in that uncertainty, in that concern of what is the future like. Even while pre-COVID, members of these cohorts are already struggling due to a few circumstances, or just because they are new to the country in some cases. Communication has been a bit of a barrier. Lack of local work experience, qualifications they've earned overseas before coming into the country has also been a kind of barrier, because many times such qualifications are not recognized. I'm not going to go to the reason for such, because that is really another big area of advocacy, to really try to find out whether there are some validity in the way some qualifications are being sort of rejected or sort of relegated, despite the fact that these people that have earned these qualifications have spent the time, the energy, the work, the sweat to really acquire the skills that came from pursuing those studies. So that's another conversation for another day, which has really been ongoing in our space as Multicultural Professional Bridge. And lastly, the whole issue of networking, networks. Just take, for example, this COVID situation. We are aware that there will be a selection of people to let go in various companies, and I keep reflecting on that question. How will the selection be made? Is it merit? Is it people I don't like as the leader of organizations? Is it people that have had reports and record that other workers could not get along with them, which could also be subject to investigation as well. Very independent investigations, you would think so. So I'm aware, being the leader of this organization, having conversations with our stakeholders, that there is just that uncertainty, that concern that is further amplified for people of migrant and multicultural background. But let's give the balance. Like I said earlier on, we are aware that the times we are in is challenging for everyone. So it's challenging, it's difficult to be pointing any finger now. But we also want to reach out to our key stakeholders, people of multicultural background who are working, who were working and are now out of jobs, who have been looking for work even before COVID-19, and now with COVID-19, I could imagine how they would feel. It's almost like without COVID, I wasn't considered for a job. So with COVID, what are my chances? And these are valid questions. I will want to validate such concerns. And as a non-for-profit organization, that is where we live for a few years now, trying to bridge those gaps, trying to just hold as much as we can, of course, subject to resources, hold people by the hand and walk with them on this journey, because it could be quite overwhelming. A few people gave up along the way, but we're happy that we've heard and we've known some very remarkable stories of resilience, of not giving up and working hard and staying on it, and that ended up in some remarkable results. So just again, shout out to our people, our stakeholders, our clients. Please, this is not time to give up. Let that not come into the equation. We know it's a complex equation, but let giving up not be one of the variables. Please don't add it to the options. And there are things you could be doing this period. We've had a few workshops, a few conversations. Check our various media outlets, check our website, our Facebook, our YouTube page. There's a few stories, recorded ones. Some we couldn't record for confidentiality reasons. But we will keep doing what we need to do to keep bridging the gap, to keep supporting, to keep reaching out, because it's just to know that at least someone feels the way you feel. Some organizations get it. We do get it. We recognize the struggles. Many of our key officers, including our board, are people that have gone through the same struggles. So we do understand, we appreciate it, we validate the challenges, but we also promote the need to take the matters into your hands in a positive way. Even in my new book, I've written a couple of books, check them out. But the new one, which is really, I see it as my greatest contribution to this space, is titled Adopt, Adapt, Achieve, the AAA guide for successful relocation, successful change management and integration. So it's really, and one of my key messages there is it's time for us to take these matters into our own hands. Because in a positive way, we're not asking for protests. We're not asking for just going about it negatively. No, even though we do appreciate why some protests were necessary recently. We really appreciate that because it's time for systemic change. But while we are going about the systemic aspects, which we hope the key players would actually take it to heart and really run with the feeling that is currently in the air that it's time to change, it's time to really do something about equity, do something about participation, do something about removing barriers. There are a few things we can actually be doing this period, and everyone should be doing the little bit. Some of them are simple, very easy to do, and they're still all around those four key areas that we have always highlighted as areas that if we can get better at one way or the other, we increase our chances of securing a job, a preferred job of our preferences, job that we would like to do. And one of them is just the area of communication. We know that quite a number of our cohorts can speak English, but just communication is more than knowing how to speak the English language. So anything this period that can help you improve on your communication. I have always been a supporter of Toastmasters. The good thing is that many of them are online this period, so check out some of them. I still belong to one. I hook up on Zoom. And it just helps you to, in a very positive environment, people can actually mentor you, people can, and they are also mixed, very diverse, multicultural groups, so you will find some locals there who would provide you with good feedback on areas for improvement. So that's just one aspect, and it doesn't cost much. I think sometimes they can even allow you some grace period to just be attending without necessarily paying the subscription fee. So I strongly recommend it. There may be other options that you know, but anything that can help you improve on communication, that can prepare you for interviews, because they will come. We believe things will change. We believe there will be a shift. There will be a post-COVID era. But during this lockdown period, and the great thing is that some states are beginning to open up. In Australia, for example, WU is almost unrestricted now, apart from you doing the tree, which is download and use the COVID Safe app, wash your hands with soap regularly or hand sanitizer, and keep the necessary distance, social distance. So as long as you do all those, somewhere like WA, it's almost open. So things are beginning to open up, though we know that it's not back to normal. Again, nobody's sure whether we will ever go back to normal. So anything you can do online, do, improve your skills, improve your communication. The issue of qualification may be very challenging, but hey, the government is even opening up some spaces for very cheap fees to pick up some qualifications, good qualifications like in the health-related area. So explore one of these. Look at them. There should be something you can pick up this period that would improve your chances when the opportunities start coming, particularly with jobs or with businesses. So do something about it. The third one there with work experience. Now this will be challenging because there's a complete lockdown for in some places. Some companies are just beginning to to sort of get back to operations, and the last thing on their minds now may be allowing for volunteers or work experience places. So that may not be an easy one, but as things get better, look for somewhere. It's all about bridging the gaps. How can I bridge the gaps based on feedbacks I've received so far with my employment attempts, with my application for jobs or interviews I've attended, or even the job I was in before that I lost the job. So what were the feedback you picked up? And one way to bridge those gaps will always be doing something new. So find a different place to just participate in work experience. And they count. I can tell you they count. And people are nice. There are still people out there who are ready to give you a go. So keep looking. Don't give up. Like I said, let giving up not be part of your options. Let it not be part of the complex equation of getting yourself back to the job of your dream. And finally, networking. Networking, that is really big. It's always going to be important. It has always been important, even for non-migrants. They have to do it to keep things going. For us as migrants and people that have come over, people of multicultural background that just look different, sometimes we may have to do much more because we are trying to get into the system. So go out of your comfort zone. I write a lot of this in my book and in my conversations, in my public events, that sometimes people of migrants and multicultural background, we don't do networking so well. When we have the opportunities, when we have even paid the necessary fees to attend a networking event, and while we're on ground there, we are going to meet people that we already know or people that look like us. It's natural to an extent, but try and shift it. Do the inconvenient move sometimes. Talk to somebody completely different from you. Talk to somebody that's a complete stranger. After all, that is why you're there. That's why you bought that ticket. That's why you invested that $20, $25 or whatever the amount is to meet someone new today. Again, there are other factors about networking which I used to share in my public events, in my books. That networking does not mean as you meet someone for the first time, you are just pouring out all your problems. The last thing you want to do is to present as someone that needs help right now. I'm not saying that there may not be exception where that works, but really, naturally, people don't need burden. That's just a reality. It doesn't mean that they cannot help, but they don't want to really be the one that you come and pour all your burden or put them under pressure to want to help. You know, the key is that people help who they like. And to get to that point of being liked takes effort, takes investment, takes a few more meetings rather than just attending one session of a networking event, and you expect the person to invest their if you like their slot for you, because sometimes people have slots and strategically they also keep it. They have relatives, they have friends, they already have networks that also need the same thing you need. So why would they give it to you? Of course, like I said, there are exceptions to the rules, but the rule is that people warm up to people. People sort of think of you when you are now on their mind. Once you are now warm up to that place in their hearts where they feel you're friendly, they feel you're nice, they feel that, why would this guy or why would this lady not have a job? I can't imagine it's that such a nice fellow, it's such an intelligent guy, it's such a very kind person. He's such a friendly bloke. He's such a neat person. He actually speaks very well. He's very inspirational. Hey, some of those characteristics I've just mentioned, they are not going to come to someone's mind during a 30 minutes or even 5 minutes conversation over coffee or drinks. So it takes time. Work at it. Even during this COVID session, there are a few remote networking sessions. Get on one of them. So do the 4 while you do the 3. So do the 3 of safety during COVID and keep doing the 4 of bridging the gaps. So again, I just want to say thank you for listening to this short message and story. This is being done on behalf of members and board of Multicultural Professional Bridge, primarily for our stakeholders, people that are connected to us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on our YouTube channel. They are subscribed. So we just want to reach out to say we're thinking of you. We are not out of the picture.